Am I about to Mike Vulture Xer? No. In fact, I'm a professional, not Mike Vulture. What's the reverse of a Mike Vulture? A Mike Duck? I just quacked my way away from it. Remember, I didn't do any Eunice at EVO this year, you know? I was really into that game, and I liked it a lot, but I know a lot of people were very tentative, and they wanted their people to do it, so I didn't do any Eunice. I asked them, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do anything like that. I think that you can handle that however you want, regardless of if you've played the Eunice commentators and beat them up at their own game or anything like that. But I had a lot of fun doing jump off and Dragon Ball. That's all I did, actually. The only blocks I have were 5 jump off blocks and Dragon Ball. Those are the only things I did at EVO this year. I should have done top 8 for Street Fighter. I would have loved to. You know, I was like perfectly fine with doing top 8 for Street Fighter or Dragon Ball or MK also. I didn't do any MK. Over the weekend and Monday, I did 25 hours of total commentary. So if I don't sound like my usual chipper self, it's because there's absolutely nothing left in my body but the ability to thank K Mike J for dropping the Twitch Prime. Thanks very much. I had a great Evo. I was working the entire time. Yeah, I will grab the clip of Steve grabbing my arm. I don't even think people realize the levels to this, because it's so much worse than you guys know. You guys heard Steve squeeze my arm and I screamed, "Steve, my arm," but it was worse during the Gogeta reveal. That's what you guys don't understand.
Wow. The barrier into level 3, that was Steve, my arm.
So look, listen to Steve's voice, all right? Listen to Steve's voice when the level 3 comes out, okay? I want you guys to notice this. For the reason I screamed, "My leg!" Listen to the way Steve's voice sounds like.
Overhead block, goes for the barrier into level.
You see how he's like, goes for the barrier into level 3. So as his voice is getting more and more like you can feel him squeezing my arm in his voice. Listen to his voice as it ramps up.
Goes for the barrier into level 3, that was Steve.
Like it's ramping up. He goes for the barrier in the level. Like he was squeezing so hard. I thought my arm was gonna fall off. You know those machines that take your blood pressure and they squeeze on your arm? That's what it was like. Legit, I thought my arm was gonna fall off. And the thing is, it was so sick that I was like this. I like put my arms out. I was like, like I was like super excited. But what I realized is when I put my arms out, I abandoned my defensive position. I don't have my arms tucked anymore where I can defend and pry. As soon as I put my hands up, I was no longer in the hit stance. I was like, my arms were out, and he just went, psh, and he grabbed it. And you have to realize that's his right arm on my left arm. That's a bad matchup. And he is squeezing this shit. I thought that was the end of my arm, the last time I was going to use it. Majin Obama told me, he's like, you need to get that shit that the Falconers use. You know, the gloves that they wear where falcons perch on it. He was saying, like, you need to get that. I keep saying that this is the second worst arm grab that Steve hit me with at EVO, right? After this, the thing is over. Janemba. They revealed Janemba. We watched the trailer. We're like, oh shit, Janemba, blah, blah, because everybody knew Janemba was going to be a thing and they were going to show off Janemba. Then at the end of the trailer, Janemba gets knocked back. And it's like, oh shit, what's about to happen? What's about to happen is that Mega Meister's going to come through with the 7 months. Thanks very much. Janemba gets knocked back. And then it pans up, and then Gogeta shows up, right? So Gogeta's just like, try that on me, and he just does like a stance or whatever. And like, you have to imagine at this moment, Steve's gonna get fucking hype, right? So we were like, oh shit, it's Gogeta. And as soon as that happened, Steve just went boom and slammed the table, right? Because he was fucking hype. Now you have to understand, when he slams the table, this guy, Steve, he's big, he's buff. So when he slammed the table, the monitor started to wobble. And the laptop, you know, like Asus was a sponsor of EVO. So the Asus laptop started to slide forward a bit. And I'm thinking to myself, this laptop is like a couple $1,000s probably. Steve hit the table so hard that it's about to fall on the floor and break, is what I'm thinking. So like a rookie, I see the laptop and I see what's happening. And obviously I reach out to stop it like this, both arms. And you can already see the weakness in my defensive position. As soon as I reached out, I was exposed. My arms had no defense left against Steve. So I reached out to grab the laptop. He grabs my left arm and he grabs it and starts shaking it. And then as Gogeta's doing shit, he starts slamming it against the table like this. Like he's so excited that he's taking me with him. And meanwhile, I'm like, the other arm, I'm reaching to try to save the laptop. My other arm's boom, 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 slamming against the table. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, what the hell am I supposed to do? He just got me fucking latched on, and there's no breaking the throw on this one. It was too late. I already went for the 1+2, and he got me with the fucking 2 throw, and I was like, it's over. I got no chance. So he's slamming my arm against the table. And then eventually, like, he lets go, and I just went like this. And I was, like, hiding in the corner, grabbing my arm. And, like, I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy Steve is so fucking excited. I was like, Steve, they already announced Gogeta at the finals. Like, he's already done binge showed off. We knew he was going to be in the game. I have no idea why he was so excited about it.
Steve, my arm! He got him! Okay.
You can hear the pain in my voice. There's so much suffering in Steve, my arm. This EVO was really cool to me because for the first time, Steve and I got to do our first top 8 together on commentary, which was really fun. It's not my first EVO top 8, and it's not Steve's EVO first EVO top 8. It's just our first top 8 together. We've never commentated an EVO finals together. There was even a year where we both did Street Fighter because I was on the stream with James and then he was on ESPN with Seth. So we both commentated the exact same top 8, just not at the same time. So this is the first time that we had ever done a top 8 together. I was super, super ready for Dragon Ball. I felt it. I knew that it was going to be a great top 8 when I looked at the bracket, when I looked at who was coming. When I looked at how good Sonic was playing, I knew that if him and Goichi are on opposite sides of the bracket, that they would play each other in tournament. I was positive. And man, oh man, it turned out to be a fucking sick tournament. I think it was one of the best top 8s of the weekend, for sure. It was one of those top 8s where I felt Steve and I ascend to the quality of the, top 8. A lot of people at EVO were saying that they really enjoyed the Dragon Ball commentary. And I was trying to think to myself, like, what made this year's Dragon Ball top 8 different than anything else I've ever done? Because I tweeted that I thought the Dragon Ball top 8 this year was some of the best that I think I've ever done. And I was trying to think about why that was the case, right? Besides the matches being fantastic. Obviously, like, you have to think like this, right? As a commentator, there are times where you have to carry the matches. If the matches aren't good, you have to carry the matches, either by making them interesting even when they're not, or by being entertaining or funny or having a lot of charisma or doing something to make the matches fun to watch, even if they're not that great. Then there are times where the matches can carry the commentary, where even if the commentary is not perfect, the matches are so fucking good that you don't even care what you're listening to because they're just that good. So the main thing about Dragon Ball this year is the matches were so good that I was pressured to live up to the matches. You know what I mean? And I feel like my best work is done when I am trying really hard to overcome something like that. And the main kind of pressure is to, like, not be swallowed up by the greatness of something else. I don't want to feel like the matches were better than my commentary. The second thing, and this has always been something when I commentate with Steve, is that Steve is incredible and people love Steve. When we first started commentating together, I realized that I had a pressure that was, people love Tasty Steve. If him and I commentate together, I will never be the people that people are like, man, I love Sajam. They're going to be like, fucking Tasty Steve's hilarious. I love Steve. He's great. You know what I mean? That's how it is in my mind, especially when we first started commentating, because Steve is just so good, right? So when I commentate with him, I always commentate to get better because I have to live up to the expectation of my own thoughts of Steve is that good, right? That's why our synergy is so good. And when you put those two things together, it was like the ultimate commentary block for me. And I was telling Steve, like, you know, when we finished commentary, Steve came up to me and he's like, bro, you had me in a fucking genjutsu on commentary. He's like, I've never seen you commentate like that. And I was like, Steve, what the fuck does that mean? And he's like, bro, I wanted to talk, but you were so on point and you were going so fast and you were so good that I didn't know what to say. That's what he told me. He's like, I don't know what the fuck happened to you during that top 8, but that's the peak. That's what he said. You need to get back to that point every time. He's like, that is you at your peak, right? That's what he told me. So I thought about it, and I realized in Winners Finals, I know exactly what I did to hit peak me, right? Like the highest that I've ever commentated. So when I watch matches, I'm constantly like playing the match from both sides, right? Playing like, okay, what is this character looking for? What is this player looking for? What's going to happen? Which is why I'm like, you know, very, very comfortable doing analysis and explaining like, hey, here's what happened or why this happened. Because I understand like both players' perspectives, right? But during Winners Finals of EVO, I was playing both perspectives at the same time, right? Like I felt like I understood what both players wanted to do in both scenarios, like at the same time. I was like trying to juggle both perspectives at once. And it gave me a headache. Like legit, by the end of Winners Finals, when we took a break, doing that was so stressful for my brain. I remember like as soon as it ended and we went to break, Like, I legit had such a fucking headache. Like, it hurt so bad. My brain was like mush. It's really, really hard in a game like Dragon Ball because it's so fast and hectic, right? So, like, doing that in, like, Street Fighter, I've definitely done that many times. But doing that in a game like Dragon Ball is just so hard to play from both perspectives at the same time. So, EVO is, like, the first time, probably, that I think I've done that in Dragon Ball and hit that form, especially in matches that crazy. In Dragon Ball, I've already talked about many times, like, how I prepped for the commentary, how I wanted to approach the commentary, the kinds of things I wanted to say on commentary. I did that last year when I was talking about EVO, and all of that prep went in this year, but the only thing that was really different is that my, like, commentary was just that, like, focused, and I knew exactly what both players wanted to do and how they play, like, so well that I was just ready to explain it at, like, a speed and pace that I normally can't. When Winners Finals, like, finished, I thought I was gonna pass out because I was, like, so, like, fucking, like, invested in the match, and my brain hurt so bad. I don't get how you can talk so fast yet so clearly. That's something very practiced. I think before I couldn't do it as fast as I can do it now, but now my analysis is like so. I've gotten so used to compartmentalizing, shrinking my analysis that I can speak at the fastest I can speak while still doing analysis as compact as possible. I've always thought my analysis was my strength, but now it's turned into, like, I've turned it into the next level. I figured out how to take it to that next point. And that's just through a lot of trial and error about doing stuff. So now it's like, okay, now that I have this, what's the next step beyond that? And that's what I have to sit down and think about next, I think. That was definitely the main thing that I worked on last year for Dragon Ball and this year. And now I feel like I've done it to the best of, like, what I need to do it for. And now there's other areas that I'll work on after that. It was messed up. It was definitely the best block that I feel like I've done. I'll have to go back and listen to it again. What did you guys think had the best top 8 overall? I see a Soul Calibur. I see lots of Dragon Ball and Tekken. I think that's what most people think, right? Most people seem to say those two, and I see sprinkled in basically every top 8. Was there, like, a bad top 8? A top 8 that was, like, really bad? I feel like most of them were really good. MK top 8 was not maybe what it needed to be. That's true. MK was rough because, like, in the same day where you watch Sonic versus Goichi, you then watch Sonic beat up everybody in MK, which is unfortunate because I love MK and I think it's super dope. The semis were dope for MK. That Sonic Fox versus Tekken Master set was crazy. The Street Fighter top 8 was sick. Did you see Jamstradamus call that shit again? Yeah, I think David and Aquaman on MK sounded a bit weird. Like, Aquaman was like fucking like, and then, like, David was just like, ooh, wowee. So, like, you have those two mix of, like, styles together, and, like, they sounded a bit tired. So, like, you put those two together, and it's, like, it's just a weird combo, you know? And there's long breaks, and you have Ketchup and Mustard who are there doing in-house. If someone's gonna do in-house for Mortal Kombat, it's supposed to be Aquaman, right? It has to be Aquaman. So then, if you have him on that, you probably put Ketchup and Mustard on the stream, right? Or, yeah, you separate the brothers. You put one on with David and then one on with Aquaman. I think the commentary probably should have been flipped. That reminds me, Dragon Ball has a dope group of commentators, by the way. I thought the Damascus and Tyrant on semis were great because they got the European qualification moment. And, like, the thing about Damascus and Tyrant is that they are they're kind of meme heavy. I think, like, a semis with super high energy, I think, and also with Europe, like, qualifying there, that was, like, perfect for their style of commentary. I would have liked to do some Eunice, but I banned myself from Eunice. It was like my own self-ban from commentary. I'm not that kind of guy. Like, I saw somebody saying, like, something, and there was a thread on Kappa that was talking about commentary, and they were saying, like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they replace, like, this and that person with Sajam or Steve or whatever. And I was like, the thing for me is that I only do the games I like. I really, and that's not even true. I only do the games I love. So, like, I'm not going to do Soul Calibur top 8 because I'm not a Soul Calibur person. You guys don't see me watching or playing Soul Calibur at every event. You don't see me watching and playing Sam Show at every tournament. You don't see me, you know, I'm not going to be like, hey, let me do Smash Ultimate. So, like, I'm not going to try to do commentary for some game that I'm not an expert at, right? And if I'm going to do commentary for something, it's going to be a game that I love and a game that I focus on. I try to tell people that when Eunice came out. Remember when I started playing Eunice? Lots of people. Sajam, you're doing Eunice now. Sajam's gonna. I saw people like Sajam's gonna do Eunice top 8 at EVO, and I was like, yeah, you're a fucking moron. No, I'm not. Obviously, no shit. I'm playing the game for fun. I haven't done any commentary for the game, right? Since it came out. I love it. It's great to watch. I'm not gonna do commentary for it. Same thing with Tekken. People bring up Tekken. I had a few people this weekend come up to me. Like, actually, you know who always tells me that they want me to commentate Tekken? I had Anakin and Speed Kicks both ask me when I'm going to commentate Tekken next recently. And it's so funny because I'm like, dude, you guys have so many great commentators. I mean, I think I would have fun if I commentated Tekken, but Tekken, for me, if I did it, I would want to do analysis. And that would take a lot of time and effort to put in, just like it takes a lot of time to thank Crossbear for dropping the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Yeah, like I wouldn't want to do Tekken unless I was really confident that I'd be a great analyst. Yeah, now that EVO's over, I feel like, so I banned myself from Eunice commentary until EVO. Now that Eunice is over, or EVO's over, I'm more interested in commentating some Eunice. Yeah. You know, Suika, I gotta thank you for coming and playing me on my stream. I appreciate you. If you didn't come play me on my stream, I would have been 2-2 with Eunice commentators that were at EVO. But because you came and played me on my stream, I now have a winning record against all of the Eunice commentators that were at EVO. So because of that, I have decided that next year, all of you will just be removed and I will be the only person commentating Eunice. Cheers. Uniclear, excuse me. It was you, Fox, and Ryan. If it wasn't for you three, you know, I wouldn't be able to do EVO next year. But now I can get in there. Because Tari smoked me and I lost the bread too.